Today we're going to take a look at an easy and convenient way to manage all of your backups from photos to multimedia to even documents and everything in between. This is going to be UGREEN's latest NAS system, the DH4300 Plus. And yes, it's a little bit unconventional when it comes to the design. You can see that it's a vertical design, but I actually do like it because, again, this is pro-consumer friendly, so it means you can place this anywhere around your home and not have it an eyesore, not have it something that's going to be an attention grabber. It's just going to kind of sit in the background and do its thing and manage all of your backups with ease. So we will get into the setup process of the DH4300 Plus, which is really simple. I do have some 4 terabyte Seagate Ironwolf drives that I have. I'll leave some recommendations to drives down in the comments below because, man, with up to 120 terabytes of storage, these 4 terabytes might not last for all that long. I might have to do an upgrade, which again is very simple thanks to UGREEN software. You can easily replace drives to a higher capacity without any trouble. And speaking of no trouble, I actually grabbed you guys a 20% coupon, so check my link down below if you're interested in the DH4300 Plus here. I'll leave the most up-to-date, relevant, and cheapest pricing down below, and make sure to use that coupon when you can, because supplies are going to be limited. Now, the DH4300 Plus here is an easy way to manage all of your backups from photos to files to multimedia, and everything is done automatically when it comes to photo backups. So all you have to do is install the UGREEN application, set it to automatic uploads, and all of your photos are going to upload really quickly. Thanks to UGREEN software, once again, there is an AI tool that's going to allow you to search through your thousands and thousands of photos just by typing in the subject matter. If you want to look for a cat or a tire or a car, you'll be able to do so really quickly just by typing in that keyword. I will show you all the software again. Don't worry, it's very simple. Again, UGREEN has made this really, really simple. And UGREEN has kept power in mind when it comes to a consumer NAS as well. It's just going to kind of sip on power thanks to that rock chip that's inside here. Let's quickly talk about specs when it comes to the DH4300 Plus. There is a USB-C port right on the front there. If we take a look at the ports on the back, there's a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port, so transferring files like a 1 gig file is going to take seconds and not minutes, and definitely not hours. You also do have an HDMI port, so this is great for the KVM, or if you just wanted to plug it into a monitor, or if you wanted to plug it into your TV even, and you can even output files and multimedia that way directly from the UGREEN NAS. And then you have 2 USB 3.2 ports right on the back there as well. So again, perfect for attaching any type of extra peripherals that you might have. It does have a non-upgradable 8 gigabytes of LPDDR4 RAM. And as far as the processor inside, it's using a Rockchip ARM 8-core processor at 2 gigahertz. What does that mean when it comes to everyday life? Maybe you're saying, I don't know what processors and RAM and any of this in between actually means. And I'm going to try and break it down for you as simply as I can, and that's going to be that the DH4300 Plus just works for what it's intended to do. If you want to back up your photos, you want to back up your files, you want to back up your multimedia, access them locally while you're here in the office, or even remotely from anywhere in the world, you can easily do that quickly, fastly, and securely as well. Now, the UGOS Pro, that's the operating system in here, and the application work really well in tandem. And it's really a fully baked system, if you ask me. It's just a great way to, again, categorize, organize, locate, and use your files from anywhere in the world. And actually, it's time to set it up. I've talked to you a lot about it. So let's go ahead and insert these drives together. It's going to be really simple, and the setup's going to be simple. So let's go through the setup process together and see what it's all about. Installing the drives is really simple. You can see you have this bay. It's going to work with 3.5 or 2.5 inch drives. Since I have all my drives installed, it's time to go through the setup process, and this vertical design is a really great space saver. As someone who lives in an apartment, I'm all for it. Setting up your brand new DH4300 Plus is really simple, and it's a very beginner-friendly NAS. There's always a guide or always some sort of wizard that's going to help you through, and there's always a ton of explanations. So the first thing we want to do is give your device a friendly name. I'm just going to call mine Home NAS, and now we need to create a user account. So I'm going to put in Jabber and create a strong password. Now that we've created an account, you can see all of the prompts, just letting you know what are going to be the next steps. And there's always this little UGREEN handy NAS guide to kind of help you through it as well. So now, of course, we need to format those drives in order for us to start using this. Let's go ahead and start a storage pool, and you don't have to start with all 4 drives. If you didn't purchase this and get 4 drives all at the same time,
You can even start with 1, which obviously isn't recommended. You can start with 2, which is a great way to begin your NAS journey. 3 would be best, and of course 4 would be optimal. Now underneath you can see the different RAID types that we have available, and UGREEN, based on the amount of drives that you've selected, is going to give you a recommendation. And if you don't know what all of these RAID types is, just take a minute to kind of read what they are, even research what they are later on. But RAID 5 is going to be the best in terms of giving you the most available storage and also protecting you from sort of mishaps if one of your drives gets damaged. There are other options if you're kind of worried about, say, 2 drives getting damaged. You could choose different options, but again, you'll lose the amount of available storage. But it's all up to you guys, and it's all up to what makes you feel comfortable and what makes you sleep at night. I'm good with RAID 5. I don't think more than one drive is going to fail exactly at the same time. So let's just click on next. There's also 2 different file systems to choose from. I usually just choose the ext4. It's more stable and supports a little bit larger capacity drives, but if you want things like snapshotting and a couple other more advanced features, you should choose the BTRFS file system. Again, do your own research and see what works best for you. In most cases, whichever one you choose is going to work. Again, I'm just going to choose the ext4 for now, but keep in mind you cannot change this later on if you wanted to do so. So make sure to do your research once again to figure out which is best. I'm keeping mine with ext4, and let's go ahead and create the drives. Click on Format. And before you do anything that might be detrimental to your system, UGREEN is always going to prompt you for your password, so you'll never be able to just click on something and erase your entire drive. There are some fail-safes built in. There's a couple things that I want to go over before we check out some of the applications here, like the multimedia applications. Now in settings under user management, this is where you can add more users. So if you wanted to create a user name for, say, your kids or a loved one, you could go ahead and do that. And then they'd have their own separate space to upload their own files and whatnot. So right here is where you'd set up different users. You can also set up different user groups as well. So again, this is great if you wanted to create a file space for everyone in your home to upload to, and everyone to kind of go in and look at it and edit them and do all of those kind of fun things together. Now under file service, you do want to enable SMB service if you're trying to access your NAS drive from another type of PC. So you can go ahead and change the work group right here. Let's just go ahead and click on apply there. And if you are using a Mac, a great feature is the Bonjour service. So once you enable this, you can connect to the device over the LAN, and you can also set up a Time Machine folder. So this is going to be great to kind of back up all of your Macs here. Under remote access, this is where you want to enable UGREEN's own remote access. Now, this is going to be very useful, again, if you use UGREEN's application on your phone or tablet or even your PC, and you want to access it from anywhere in the world when you're not home. This is going to be a service that you need to enable. Now let's just add a couple folders that we can connect to, and this is going to be a great place to upload all of your files and be able to access them from any computer that's on your network. So I'm just going to create a folder here, and I'm just going to call this one Home NAS. Make sure I get the spelling properly. I'm going to choose the storage location. So if you have different storage pools that you've set up, you'll be able to set up the storage pool here. Since I only have one with my 4 drives, I'll do that. You can also create a volume limit. Again, this would be pretty good if you wanted to set up that Time Machine folder for all of your Mac backups. I am not going to set a volume limit. If you wanted to hide it in the network, you could go ahead and do that. I'm not too worried about other people on my network. Let's go ahead and create next. And now you'll be able to select who has permissions to access this folder. And if you had created other users or other user groups, you'd be able to select them here. So I'm going to select myself and give myself read-write access. If you want to deny somebody, you could do that. And if you want someone to only be able to view the files and not edit or delete, you would select the read-only option. Let's go ahead and click on next. So now I do have Home NAS enabled. Another folder that I'm going to enable is going to be a Docker folder, because yes, I'm going to create some Docker applications, and again, read-write is going to be for myself. Now that we've set everything up, just a quick overview of the UGOS Pro operating system. And if you've ever used a desktop, a Mac, or a PC, it looks very familiar. It's a very familiar and safe space here. At the top, you can see what's going on with your in and out, as well as your CPU and RAM usage. You also do have some widgets that, again, are going to give you some information about what's going on, including who is logged into the NAS device. You can also click on a task manager and see what's uploading and downloading, what's going on with your system at the current time. If you have any notifications, you'll see you have notifications right there. Now clicking on control panel again, we went over all of these settings, but I just wanted to show you that it's nicely laid out. It's not overly complicated. Again, this is a very beginner friendly NAS device. And the same goes with Task Manager. You can get a little bit more information about what's going on. Here's your network. Again, here's all of your hard drives. You can see your current read and write speeds. So I like the Task Manager. I like the OS. Again, it's a point and click type of situation. Nobody really has to do a deep dive into settings or do a deep dive into getting this to work. Now, speaking of getting this to work, there are a couple applications that we want to install right out of the gate here. Now, the app list, albeit a little bit on the small size, is basically unlimited thanks to Docker support. So you guys can install Docker and really get just about every service or every program that you want to work on the DH4300. Now, some will require a little bit of tinkering. This is where, when you get more comfortable with the system, you can definitely play around with Docker. And YouTube is a great resource to help you get everything up and running. Of course, we want photos because the main thing a lot of us do is back up our photos, and the one-click sync and backup is really easy. The next app we want to install is Theater, and this is going to be UGREEN's own multimedia application. And let's see if there's anything else that we want to install here. I mean, QB Torrent is here. Again, that's going to be a little bit more advanced once you get more comfortable with this system. Easy NVNR is great for all of your smart cameras and whatnot. So again, guys, this is a good starting lineup when it comes to some applications. Docker will be your best friend once again. So let's just go ahead and exit this out.
Let's download the UGREEN application and do some photo backups and whatnot together. And thanks to this really handy NFC chip right on the front here, just bring your device close to it, and it's going to give you a link to download that application. So let's go ahead, open up this application, and check it out together.
UGREEN's application is going to work on any platform that you have. So it's going to work on iOS, it's going to work on Android, macOS, iPad, and even Windows. So no matter which client you're using, whether it's the desktop or the mobile, you're going to get a very familiar experience. And it's going to give you one-click access to all the information about what's going on with your NAS drive. Now this system, again, is going to allow you to access it remotely using UGREEN's application. And it's an easy way to kind of access all of your files when you're out and about. So I'm trying to edit this video, which yes, I am editing this video using the DH4300 Plus. I'll be able to go in and I'll be able to access my files from remote locations all around the world there and get all of my work done. It's also a great way, once again, to watch your multimedia when you're out and about. So if you open up that Theater application that we just installed, you'll see all of your movies, all of your TV shows, all within a glance, all within a one-click type of action. So watching multimedia on the go, even if that's just for your local commute, is going to be a breeze. Photo backups is, of course, what most of us are going to want to use the DH4300 Plus for, and UGREEN did an excellent job with their application. You'll be able to see all of your photos, whether they're from this exact device or whether they're from other devices that you've already synced and backed up from. So if you click on Tools, just go to Photo Backup and ensure that the album backup is turned on. And what I like about it as well, it's going to separate them based on whichever device you have. So you can see here I'm backing up my S25 Ultra as well as my iPhone 17 Pro Max, and the system is going to give it separate folders. So it's not just going to throw in all of your photos into one big folder that you're going to have to sift through later on. And as someone that kind of switches through devices, I do want to see which photo came from which device. It just helps me in the long term. So the photo backup system, which I will get into in a little bit more depth just a little bit later on in this video, is something that you guys are really going to enjoy. Now in settings, I just want to show you a couple options here. So you do have to turn on their AI recognition. And again, all you have to do is go into the respective setting and turn that on. So if you do want to turn that on, that's a way to do it. Now I suspect this is for privacy. Not everybody's all on that AI train, but I'm definitely aboard that train. So I turned everything on. And again, the AI recognition tools, which we'll get into in a little bit, does a nice job of separating all of your photos. And you can see everything's pretty quick. So let's just kind of stop on a photo here, open it up, and man, that is a great photo. And we can click on View Original, and that's going to give us the higher quality photo. Again, this is all intended to use less data when you're out and about. So if you don't want to see the full resolution while you're just kind of sifting through and trying to find a specific photo, you don't have to waste a lot of data. And if you're in an area where you don't have fast internet connection, this could definitely help you out. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful ridges. Just take a look at that. Even a little waterfall. You got to get higher resolution to really appreciate this photo here. I mean, this is absolutely stunning. Wow. Thanks UGREEN for backing up all of my photos and memories. When it comes to speed, this is a simulation test that's going to really stress that 2.5 gigabit connection on the back, and my whole network is 2.5 gigabitted out. So you can see here I'm getting very close to that maximum 2.5 gig speed. So in terms of reliability, whether you're trying to edit on the go, whether you're trying to transfer large files, or even just watch a whole bunch of 4K content, the UGREEN system here is capable of pretty much maxing out that 2.5 gig connection. Let's test out that speed one more time by transferring some files over. So I'm going to start with a 1.4 gigabyte file, and then we're going to go up the chain just a little bit. So if we transfer this 1.4 gigabyte file, you can see it's only going to take, wow, this is just about 4 seconds to transfer a 1.4 gigabyte file, and that is definitely impressive. Now let's go ahead and move something that's a little bit larger. This is going to be a 2.3 gigabyte file, so let's just go ahead and drop it over into my folder there. And you can see I am doing that maximum 230 megabyte a second, and it's only taking about 5 seconds. So transferring files is definitely not going to be an issue at all, guys. Very, very fast. Now let's talk about the fun things when it comes to the DH4300, and that's going to be the photo backup tool as well as the theater application for all of your multimedia. Now, taking a look at photos really quickly, what I like about this app is it's well laid out, guys. Everything is as you'd expect when it comes to a photo application. Now, your photos are backed up in original quality. There's no lower resolution like some cloud options will give you. And that's really the benefit to having your own NAS solution like the DH4300 is you can just upload everything one-to-one, get an exact copy, an exact backup of all of your photos. And again, you can see here, you can see where it was shot, which device it was shot on. And if we go back, let's just kind of scroll down and take a look at a very nice looking beer here. You can scroll in, zoom out, and then you get a map of where this photo was actually taken. And of course, the metadata is all intact. Everything is intact here. And you have some tools if you wanted to as well. You can download it, you can get some details, and you could even share the photo to somebody as well. So this will just kind of give them a link and allow them to look at these photos. And when it comes to photos, you definitely want to be able to share them, and you definitely want to allow people to upload photos as well. So with that same link, or rather a little bit of a different link, other people that might have been on your journey or loved one can also upload their photos to the UGREEN application. And that's really a plus. Again, that's a huge benefit when it comes to a photo application. And it doesn't matter if they're on iOS or Android or what device they're using. As long as they use that link, they'll be able to upload their photos. So I really like that. I give UGREEN a huge thumbs up for actually really developing a well thought out and well laid out application. So if we just kind of scroll, we got a little bit of photos here. Let's go ahead and kind of maybe scroll up. Again, I've uploaded a whole bunch of photos. So if we go ahead and take a look, here's Capri. Again, full resolution, 4000 by 3000. You really can't get any better than that. Now, speaking of their application, there's also some AI tools built in. So it does facial recognition as well. So if you want to just click on a face, I don't know, let's go ahead and click on a face here. You'll be able to see all of the photos that have that person in it. And it actually does a really good job with the facial recognition here. Here's Jabber. So you're going to see my face in all of these photos. So again, facial recognition does a really good job. And of course, you can name this person. So I just named that one Jabber. You can name all of the people just to make it a little bit easier. It also will separate all your photos by location. So if we zoom out to the entire world, map of the world here, you can see where your photos were taken, how many photos were taken there, etc., etc. Now, some of the cool things that you can do as well, let's just go ahead and take a look at object recognition. Here's transportation. You can also see animals. So if we click on animal, we all like seeing animals, like this little kitty here. It's just kind of chilling in Ischia, it looks like. Yep, that's where this photo was taken. So this little kitty is actually just chilling right there. And there's a camel as well. Actually, nope, that's a llama. My mistake. Again, it does a good job. I mean, this is a statue, but it's still a statue of an animal. So that's definitely on par with the AI recognition. And if we click on transportation, you're going to see it's going to give us just about all of the photos with transportation. There we go, guys, just chilling on top of the hood there. So AI recognition does a good job when it comes to the UGREEN DH4300. Let's move on to the theater application, because this is an area where UGREEN actually does a really good job. Now, once again, there are other options via Docker or even just via the App Store with Jellyfin. So for those of you that are familiar with something else, you also can use that on the DH4300. Looking at the theater application, this is where UGREEN has actually spent a lot of time as well, and it really does show when it comes to this theater app. So you can see your home page, and it's just going to kind of cycle through all of your movies and TV shows on the top. Any recently played items will be showing down here as well. Any recently updated shows, like if you have a TV series that you keep constantly updating, you could go ahead and see that right here. And it just plays really nicely and really smoothly. So if we click on play here, I just want to show you this is a 4K Dolby Vision movie. And if we look at our CPU usage, it's definitely not taking a lot of CPU usage. Now here's Dolby Vision once again. And if we fast forward, it doesn't even skip a beat with this high quality 4K movie. And let's just go to one more. And then I want to bring to your attention the CPU usage, because if you have a couple streams running, I actually want to see how well the 4300 does. Let's just click on Black Panther, one of my favorite movies here. And this is an HDR 4K movie as well. Again, if we fast forward, you don't even have to wait a split second. It just catches up very, very quickly here. CPU usage, once again, is very, very low. Now let's just go ahead and connect a couple different devices. I got a tablet and a phone that we're going to watch 2 4K movies, and I just want to bring to your attention the CPU usage as well. So let's get to it. Let's go ahead and start with one device and check out the CPU usage. I'm going to connect a maximum of 3 in this video. One's going to be remote viewing with a little bit of transcoding to see how well the 4300 does with that. So let's start with the first one. Starting the one video, you can see it's only at 1% utilization. Now, none of the other options here are being utilized because we're not doing any transcoding at the moment. Let me go ahead and start another movie at 4K. Starting 2 movies, this is actually very impressive. It's only at about 2% utilization. So let's go ahead and start a third one. This is a great way to show you the transcoding properties of the DH4300 Plus. Now I'm on my mobile network on my cell phone, which is actually pretty low here in the office. So I'm just going to go ahead and change this and kind of decode it into a lesser quality. So let's take this 4K content and bring it all the way down to 480. The video processing unit is a dedicated chip that's going to handle all of that decoding. You can see it's only taking about 34%. Now, most of us aren't going to decode a 4K content into 480, but again, I just wanted to show you that it is possible, and the CPU is free to do other things. You can see that utilization rate with 3 videos going is only at about sub 10%. So really, this 4300 here, although it's marketed as a budget-friendly NAS drive, I would say this is punching well above its class. This has been a look at UGREEN's latest budget-friendly NAS, the DH4300 Plus. And man, I gotta tell you, the space-saving vertical design is something that I actually really like. And don't let the word budget deter you from considering the 4300 here. This device definitely punches well above its class, and with Docker support, you're gonna be able to install applications well beyond what's in the App Store. The multimedia player is great, the built-in theater app, the photo application is great as well, and having automatic backups is something that I actually really enjoy, and being able to share them as well is something that I give UGREEN credit for actually including that in their photo application there. But if you have any questions about the 4300, let me know down in the comments below. But if you're looking for a great starter NAS, a great beginner-friendly starter NAS, this is definitely the way to go. I appreciate you guys watching. Thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you in another video.